The purpose of the Ten Commandments historically was to put God's stamp of approval on what a lot of human beings knew was right. But also, in putting a stamp of divine approval on these commandments, to put rulers in their place, to hold in check abuse of power. We don't understand that for the most part. We live in an egalitarian society. It's democratic. We have laws in place that protect human rights. And so to us it's so obvious. But in antiquity, it wasn't obvious at all. So the Ten Commandments, you see, historically actually laid the foundation for the law that we have now, the egalitarian principles and the human rights that we take for granted in the West. And it's because of the influence of the Ten Commandments, biblical teaching, biblical morality, how it's impacted wherever the Bible and the Christian faith have gone. They have impacted society and have made society much, much better. And that's why we can sit here with this kind of freedom and talk these things over, is because the impact the Bible has had in our culture. Naturally, there are always going to be more questions. That's the beauty of it. The more we dig, the more we learn, the more we study, we realize, oh, there are some other questions that we should be asking and answers that we should be looking for. And, but what it forces us to recognize is that sometimes the biblical narrative, and this is very important as it's understood, it is selective and it's compressed, and we could read in one chapter in Genesis or one chapter in 1 Samuel or 2 Kings, and it might sound like 3 or 4 events that occurred in the same year, but they could be events that took place over a number of years. And the other thing we need to know too is that some of the stories in the Bible are not in strict chronological sequence. This is a Western, modern preference, but in the ancient Near East, sometimes the way the stories were related moved in more of a cyclical and topical direction.